Most of us figure diabetes is something that only gets picked up by a blood test, right? At the doctor's office. But what if I told you your body sends out warning signals, sometimes months or even years before that? And one of the very first places it starts talking is your feet. So today, we're going to learn how to listen. Take this quote. It really hits home. A 67-year-old patient said this not too long ago. He felt great, he was active, and he just brushed off this numb feeling as, just another part of getting older. He had absolutely no idea it was a crucial clue. Well, his fasting blood sugar came back at 214. Now, to put that in perspective, anything under 100 is considered normal. This number meant he was diabetic. And based on his symptoms, he'd probably been living with it for over 2 years, completely unaware. That one number, it changed everything for him. But look, this story isn't just about him. It's really about all of us. It brings up a huge question we should all be asking. What is my body trying to tell me right now? Because these signs, they aren't whispers, they're warnings. And this is exactly why it's so urgent. According to the American Diabetes Association, a staggering 1 in 5 people who have diabetes don't even know it. Think about that. That's over 8 million people just walking around while a serious condition is quietly doing damage inside their bodies. So the very first step is just knowing what to look for. We're going to start with the first group of signs, and these are all connected to how high blood sugar can really mess with your nerves over time. We've all had our foot fall asleep, right? That pins and needles feeling you get. You just shake it out and it's gone in a minute. It's so easy to think nothing of it. But if that tingling or numbness starts happening for no reason, when you haven't been sitting on it weirdly, that is one of the earliest signs that something much bigger is going on. I love this analogy. Picture the nerves in your body like tiny electrical wires, and they have this protective coating, this insulation. Well, when your blood sugar is consistently high, it acts almost like a slow-moving acid that just eats away at that coating. That damage disrupts the signal, and that disruption, that's the tingle you feel. So from tingling, this nerve damage can actually get worse. It can turn into a really awful burning feeling on the soles of your feet. And it's so easy to just say, well, of course they're burning. I was on my feet all day. But this is different. It's often way worse at night when you're trying to sleep. It's not about heat from the outside. It's your nerves on the inside totally misfiring and sending fake heat signals to your brain. And what's just wild is how early this warning can show up. Studies have found that this burning pain is often one of the very first symptoms people report, sometimes popping up 1 to 3 years before they ever get a formal diagnosis from a blood test. It's a true silent alarm. Now, the nerve damage can also feel like a sharp, stabbing, almost electric shock kind of pain. It's so easy to blame this on arthritis or some old injury from high school, right? And then you just grab a painkiller. But here's the thing. Those pills don't fix what's actually broken. They just turn down the volume on a really important message your body is trying to send you. Here's another perfect way to picture this. Imagine a car alarm that gets banged up in a little fender bender. Now it just starts going off randomly, screaming for no reason. That's exactly what a damaged nerve does. It sends these intense, totally real pain signals to your brain, even when there's nothing actually hurting it. Okay, so that covers the sensations, the things you feel from nerve damage. Now let's move on to our second section, visible clues. These are the things you can actually see with your own 2 eyes that tell a huge story about what's going on inside. And I really want to pause here for a second, because this next sign we're going to talk about, this is the one that stops being just an annoyance and starts becoming genuinely dangerous. This is the one that can lead to some really severe problems. We're talking about wounds that heal really, really slowly. And we've all done it, right? It's just a tiny blister from my new shoes, it'll be fine. But when that little cut or that little sore just hangs around and won't heal, that is a massive flashing red flag. High blood sugar damages your blood vessels, making them narrow. That means all the good stuff, the oxygen, the nutrients that are supposed to heal you, they can't get to the wound. It becomes an open door for infection. And the stakes here, they couldn't be higher. According to the CDC, there are over 100,000 lower limb amputations every year in the US that are linked to diabetes. And almost every single one of them started as a small, ignored wound just like this. Let that sink in. Okay, we're about halfway through our list, and I just want you to take a second. A real pause. Have any of these things we've talked about, the tingling, the burning, a sore that won't go away, Have they sounded familiar? Maybe for you, or maybe for someone you love, like a parent or a spouse. All right, let's get to the next visible clue. You might notice some darker skin, maybe a deep red, or even a bluish tint around your ankles. It's so easy to write that off. Oh, it's probably sun damage, or my circulation is just bad from sitting. But this can be a distress signal. It's your skin literally saying it's not getting enough fresh, oxygen-rich blood. Now, here is a sign that is so sneaky, most of us would never even think to connect the dots. Losing the hair on the tops of your feet or on your lower legs. It happens so slowly that we just don't notice it. But it makes perfect sense, right? Hair follicles need good blood flow to grow hair. If they're being starved of that blood flow, they just stop. It's a quiet but super clear sign of bad circulation. All right, our final section here looks at signs that point to even bigger problems, system-wide issues with your circulation and even your organs. These are clues that the effects of high blood sugar are really starting to spread. We all get swollen feet and ankles sometimes and blame it on sitting too much or eating a super salty dinner. And yeah, sometimes that's all it is. But if that swelling, it's called edema, is happening all the time, day after day, it can be a major warning that your body's filter system, your kidneys, are under serious stress from high blood sugar, and it's causing fluid to back up.
Finally, let's talk about two signs that often go together and they really point to a whole system that's struggling. First, feet that are always cold. I'm not talking about on a chilly day. I'm talking about feet that are cold in the middle of summer, feet that are cold under the blankets. It means your blood vessels have likely gotten so narrow that warm blood just isn't getting down to your toes. And while you're down there, take a look at your toenails. Are they getting yellow, thick, brittle? Are you fighting a fungus that just will not go away? We think of that as just a cosmetic problem, but it's a huge clue. High blood sugar weakens your immune system, making it way easier to get infections, and bad circulation makes it almost impossible to fight them off.
Okay. We have gone through a lot of pretty serious warning signs. But look, information is totally useless if you don't do anything with it. So let's shift gears now from the problems to a super simple, empowering solution that you can literally start tonight. This is it. It's called the 30-second nightly foot check. That is all it takes. Before you go to bed, just sit down where there's good light and just look. Look at the skin, check between your toes for any little cuts, and just pay attention. Do you feel any of those weird sensations we talked about? 30 seconds. That's it. It could be the difference between catching something early and finding out way too late. So it all comes down to this one simple question. Your body is always talking to you. It's sending signals all the time. After everything we've just talked about, are you ready to start listening?